sensor would probably break it. So this one is a much larger capacity scale, so you shouldn't have that issue. All right, so let's go ahead and have you take off your jacket. And get a little bit heavier clothes on today, so we'll keep that in mind.
Take off a layer or two.
Yes, you can. Exactly.
And I made an accomplishment this time.
Good.
And I thought I'd show it off.
Alright, so this time you have to step on it just to let it activate and then step off.
Okay. Like mine.
Yep, just like that. And it'll talk to you. Alright, so
it's ready.
Okay, go ahead.
That's cool. Whoops, I'm gonna lose my balance.
And just look straight ahead.
234.0 pounds.
Good job.
34. Your other scales, then I was 230.
You were 233.2. So
Okay.
this one's a little bit different. So every time you have a different scale, there's going to be a little bit of variance between the two. So I just have to make a note of a new scale weight. For some reason, it may be a couple pounds off from the other one. I'm not sure too far. But what is your scale showing at home?
234 point something.
I don't remember what.
234.8. Something like that.
Okay.
So it's closer to.
So I don't want to focus too much on that number, but I want to focus more on what you've done over the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
Comparatively.
All right.
Is 234 point what?
0.
Okay. Even. Okay. New scale weight.
Yeah, when dogs do you.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
What's that?
The talking. It just registered. I never did log into. I don't think I logged into MyFitnessPal yesterday because I was so busy. I've been trying desperately to get work done.
Okay. How's that going?
It's it's like some parts of it goes real fast and some parts go real slow. It's like, this is never gonna get done.
All right.
That kind of thing.
So talk to me about this new thing that you got a power challenge, 50,000 pounds. One tough mother. So that's the shirt that you made, right? All right.
So I'm kind of proud of myself.
Good. Good.
I finally accomplished that goal, and the gym gave me
a water bottle. Yeah. Very cool.
So the next power challenge is 150,000 pounds.
Okay.
And it took me about a year to get this one, but when you're doing 10, 15 pounds, a lift,
right.
It's going to take a while to get through that. It's not like Bobby who can do 600 pounds. I think he can do. It's like, well, that takes you a couple of tries and you're done.
Right. Right. Okay.
So.
All right. Let's see here real quick. So talk to me about what's been besides working and that accomplishment at the gym. Talk to me about the last few weeks. What's been going on? Are you out of this one or not?
Yeah, I will be. If we go 2 weeks, I will definitely be out of that. We're working on plans for future. So we're trying to figure out motor home versus truck with a camper and all that kind of stuff.
What's that about?
I want to do kind of like a travel thing with the YouTube.
Okay.
And the whole concept is that, like say I go to you and you tell me, okay, go off to Kansas and meet up with somebody you know. And you may have something for me to deliver over there or something like that. And so we take our time going and we, record our adventures and stuff like that. And I get there and that person says, I have a challenge for you, and then I have to do whatever it is that the challenge is. Just kind of make it fun, but the idea is that we're all connected. So basically that person will send me over here, and then the next person will send me over there. And so basically, you're talking about us living on the road is basically what it is. But we're trying to figure out what would be the best vehicle for our travels that we don't have to worry about a whole lot of hotel stuff and that kind of thing, and be able to carry our medical equipment and stuff like that. So I've been looking into solar power, wind power, you know, all that kind of stuff to bring in the electrical power that we need.
Right.
Gas. And there's what they call work campers, where you find work as you go along.
Okay.
You know, it's like, you know, give me electrical hookup, or, you know, I get hooked up at your place if I did some work for you. You know, and it's just for like a day or so or something like that, and then we go on to the next place.
That sounds exciting. I mean, something new adventure to
Yeah.
do.
I'm quite the adventurous person.
Yeah.
If you haven't figured that out. But
what I want you to do is try to recall 3 things that you did exceptionally well over the last 2 weeks.
Well, let's see, got the weightlifting done. The swimming, I'm up to 32 laps.
How many days did you get in?
The swimming? Swimming's on Tuesdays.
Okay.
With weightlifting can be 1 to 2 days a week.
How many days of total activity?
I think every day except for maybe 2 days a week.
Okay.
And that's Fridays is like I go see my mom, and depending on what she wants to do that day depends on, you know, but most of her activity is like we might go grocery shopping or go to the mall or something like that and do a little bit of shopping, but the rest of the time it's usually at her place. And you know, she may have me in the line of activity, you know, help her build something or move furniture around while she's trying to figure out where she wants stuff to go, that kind of thing. This last time I spent most of it sitting because she wanted me to do computer work, because she has a program that she wants to work, but she's not sure how to go about it, so she only works on it when I'm there, type of thing.
Okay.
And then, of course, the days where I'm doing an awful lot of sewing, trying to get that caught up, and there's much. That and trying to get the videos done, and I'm trying to stay on top of the videos so that I'm only down for a couple of hours versus days, you know, type of thing. I've been, when the weather permits, I try to go out and go for a walk, you know, in the neighborhood, you know, that kind of thing, trying to get keep my numbers up there. I've only had a couple of days where I didn't quite make the numbers. It's like, you know, like a 1 or 2,000 below,
right,
or something like that. I've been pushing my workouts harder.
Which is great. You're doing a lot with the activity, right? One of the things we talked about last time I saw you was how a diet was kind of, you got to get back to where you were with the diet, right?
Yeah,
how far off are you from that?
I'm pretty close.
Okay.
Pretty close. I've noticed lately that if I have, you know, that's what I was complaining to him about, is if I just have like one bite of something I shouldn't, the next day it shows a pound on the scale. So it's like I'm trying to avoid, you know, any form of
right,
bad snacking. I know, like last week he wanted to go to. I'm wondering if that thing's pointing at me or the wall. He wanted to go to Chick-fil-A, and I like Chick-fil-A and everything. It's just that any form of chicken is this massive amount of salt, you know. So
right,
so I've been trying to avoid that. So I said, why don't we go to Jimmy John's and I'll get my food, and then we'll go over there. Jimmy John's has what they call a lettuce wrap.
right.
And so I had a tuna lettuce wrap with all the veggies in it. And so it's lettuce, there's no bread to it at all. And no mayonnaise, you know, that kind of thing. And then we took that over to Chick-fil-A, and I ordered a little fruit cup thing and sugar-free lemonade, and called it good, you know, and that was more than enough. So I've been trying to find better choices, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Okay,
and,
good.
You know, granted, the last couple of days was a little hard because we hadn't gone grocery shopping, and there's like.
What's your low point been on your scale?
Low point.
Over the last 2 weeks.
Oh, you mean the lowest? I've been.
Have you got 231?
234 was this morning.
234 was a low point.
Yeah.
Okay.
The upside is before I would get into the 240s and then try to get it back down again. This time I finally did not get into the 240s at all. I was like 239 point something, and then I started bringing it back down
right,
again. But it was up and down a lot, you know. on, you know, it's like, drink more water, gained 1,000 pounds. Or I feel like I gained 1,000 pounds, you know, that kind of thing. And then the next day, you know, I'll lose all of it and then gain it back up, you know, but it went up slower, it didn't go up as dramatically, and I had better chance of getting it back down, you know, and I sent you that picture. It was like the last time I was here was like 236 is what my scale said, but it was 235.
Right.
Last Wednesday, so.
Yeah, when I saw the picture, I couldn't see it. I mean, all I saw was a blank screen. Yeah, it was just dark. There was no picture. That's why I said, well, I couldn't see what the number was.
Huh.
Because all it showed was kind of like I mean, it looked about as dark as this. So I couldn't make out anything. That's why I said, well, what's the number? Right.
Yeah, because it was like bright blue with black numbers.
Yeah, I didn't see it on mine.
Huh.
Right, so I don't know if it. Quick. Show you what I'm talking about. Let's see here.
No, watch it comes up good.
See?
Move the bottom thing across.
This?
Yeah, move that towards about the center. Now move it.
Ah!
You have it super big.
Okay. Well, that would make sense because I just did this. I was like,
yeah.
Okay, I can't see a number. I don't.
Yeah, you might have to shrink down the size of your page on that.
Oh yeah. Okay, so if I look at this, it's 4,300 versus 3,200. Okay, I had that. Okay, there we go. I didn't notice that. Well, when I see it at 100%, I'm like, well, that's just the whole size. So I didn't scan it over. That's why you got that email. Okay.
You taught him something.
Yeah.
Well, I have to do all those pictures and videos and stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so that was 235.8. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so you're down from that because you were 234 this morning on your scale.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're down too. Okay, so what I do know between the two scales, there's about a 2 to 3 pound variance between the two, even with me.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I've already noticed that. However, I don't know if it's true with all patients because some patients I saw last week and I saw something and they're much lower weight, right? So I don't know if the variance is noticeable if someone weighs like 120 pounds, right? I didn't see any difference, right, between that. But I think the higher you weigh, the more variance it probably had because that scale, like I mentioned, the sensor, right, might have been going down, right? So we don't really know. So, but the reality is, over your course of the scale, you're down 2 pounds over the course of 1 week.
Right.
Right, and that's what's important.
Right.
Okay, and so that's the change I wanted to see. So today's weight is just a baseline measure with the new scale. That's why I put in the subject heading new scale weight. Right, so I'm not as concerned with that.
Yeah, because you don't know how much. Yeah, because your other one was showing at least 3 pounds lower than mine at home. Right. And this one's very close to
where you are at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like.
It is. It's okay. No, it's okay because you were, like I said this morning, you were down, so you're down 2 pounds from almost where you were last week. So that's what's more important with that. So no, that's good. So if you look at that, right, albeit it's a new scale, it shows 0 from where you were. We know you're about 2 to 3 pounds down from where I saw you 2 weeks ago, right, with the new scale. So that should be good. Right?
Yeah.
So it should be really good. Right? And that's a testament. That's why I asked you, what are you doing, and so forth, and you're back to close to where you were, right? Because we talked about the last time about you got to get to that level of rigidity, right? It's tough, but you got to get back to that mindset of how did I lose the first 75?
Yeah.
Right? How did I lose the first 30?
Yeah, I even gone to as far as I had one day where I did 2 shakes that day. Or I might do a shake and a latte, which is close. Right. You know, and then of course lattes, but either like a soy milk or skim milk, and then just basically flavoring. Right. You know, like a coffee, whatever flavoring. And I usually get the sugar-free, whatever I'm going to put in there. Been forcing the fruits and vegetables harder, not so much as protein. I was frustrated. I forgot to bring the paperwork, but I had a bod clot the since I last saw you. And the bod pod, even though the overall weight was down, I had lost weight in muscle and gained weight in
Okay,
fat.
so-
And and they said that could be just because of how much water I drank or something.
You can say, any type of air displacement that you do, there's a margin of error of 2 to 3%. Okay, so meaning that it's never, the only accurate means, the most accurate means, and it's very impractical, is a DEXA scan, because it measures organ density, bone density, water, muscle, and adipose tissue, right? It's like, think of it like an MRI or a CT scan of your whole body, but it's used for the purpose of bone density and muscle composition, right? It's the most accurate, right? Everything else outside of that is 2 to 3 percentage points off, right? And then the variability, repeat variability, it can be naturally high, especially when you're dealing with displacement technology. It's, that's why I like looking at percent body fat, but I don't like looking at it all that frequent. Just because, unless you're losing weight. If you're not losing weight and you do it and you know you've been building muscle, right? Then and your weight's staying the same and you're losing inches and weight stays the same, then yes, it makes sense of doing it. But when you're doing it so close together with your overall weight, the margin of error goes up, and so what happens is you take those numbers from a factual standpoint, it is what it is. It's never going to be exact, and so when you start remeasuring, you get that variability. So don't worry too much about that.
Yeah, I'm not too super worried. My scale at home measures, the bone and the water and all that kind of stuff too. And so once a month I'll check it, and there's a little bit of change,
Right.
So.
Your water should always stay around 60 to 68%. Closer to 66 to 68% water.
Yeah, they said it was, your water was. Everybody said your body was 2/3 water.
Yep.
That's what they were trying to say.
Yep.
So that sounds about right. I was thinking 75%, but then that would be 3/4.
Yeah, there's a lot of water. Yeah, be a lot of edema. Yeah.
I already have plenty of that.
Right. No, which looks still a lot better than where it was.
Yeah.
So, when do you go back to your other physician?
The thyroid doctor I see once a year.
Okay. Well, what about your surgeon and so like that? Or no, you had dental work then, right?
I had dental work done, so I'm done with that.
Okay.
The surgery I'm done with.
That.
And so it's just.
Are you wearing a belt or anything now for the hernia? Nothing. Okay.
Yeah, they just put a what do you call it, a mesh
Patch.
in there.
Yeah.
And they told me not to lift more than like a thing of milk, a gallon of milk, for a while. But after that, they said you can lift whatever, and so the doctor, when I'm dealing with my back, he says, I'm allowed to lift 1 pound more each month before,
Good.
so now I'm up to 16 pounds that
Good.
I'm allowed to lift. And so most of the weights are in 5, so it's, and boy, I'll tell you, when I finally get to go up that next 5, might as well be 100. It's like, it's only 5 pounds, but dang, it's so hard to move it. But I'm noticing I am moving better. It's not. Every now and then I kind of overdo it.
Okay.
You know how it is. It's like you push it a little bit. The poor guy at the swimming pool about had a heart attack because wasn't this last time, but the week before. I had gone swimming and I said, I'm going to put, each week I'm pushing harder, I'm pushing harder, I'm pushing harder. And I'm sure you've heard of the wall. You hit that wall and all of a sudden you just can't move, Unfortunately, I'm in deep water at the time, literally.
Right.
And I'm like, trying to get in air, and all I can get is water, and I'm trying to get over to the edge, and I finally get the edge and work my way up to shallow water, and I'm over there trying to catch my breath and cough up all the water that I just inhaled and everything, and the lifeguard, he's standing over where the kids are, because he's got to keep a close eye on them, and he's looking at me like, are you okay? And I'm like, so I finished up. I think I had like 3 more laps to do, so I took them easy. And then I finally got out of the water, and I says, I'm not going back in. He goes, thank you. So I went and sat in and after I get done with that, I go sit in the hot tub for 15 minutes, but Yeah, I pushed until I just could not move anymore after that point.
Oh.
Man, she told me she fell asleep in the hot tub the other day.
Oh yeah, that was the same day. I got into the hot tub and I just sat there and I was like, okay, I gotta get out at such and such a time, and next thing I know, it's 20 minutes past that point and I didn't realize I had
Yep.
dozed off.
Oh, good. Well, let's do this. We'll see you back in 2 weeks. I'm actually want you to go ahead and finish up with that. I'm actually considering. I've already been thinking about this. I'm going to switch you over to EGCG, which can still help regulate your glucose values a little bit, but it's also going to help spark your metabolism a little bit too.
Okay.
That'll help increase it up a little bit. You'll still take 1 cap twice a day, kind of like we were doing with that. But the idea behind it is it acts as a little bit more of a thermogenic property. It's not a stimulant, right? That's going to stimulate your heart rate. What it does is it stimulates your metabolism to burn more fat. Okay, that's the intent behind it. And there's been some good research on to show the efficacy of increasing your metabolic profile between 7 to 10%. So I'll switch you over to that because that will also aid in weight loss.
Okay.
In addition to that. So.
Okay, so you'll give me that, and then I'll finish this and then start taking that.
Yep.
Okay, the question is the EGCG green tea pills. You wanted me to take those because of the EGCG. Do you want me to continue taking those? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
I just don't want you taking too much because you can get into problems with depending on how much you take. Because it also acts as an antioxidant, but it can also your liver has to metabolize things. So we'll kind of see how you're feeling with it. Because I know that's one of the things I recommended to you, but I think what I want to do is just switch you out and just double that dose and see if that's going to help a little bit too. Spark a little bit more with the weight loss.
Okay.
So I want to try to make some change to that.
All right. So we'll get a bottle of that EGCG.
Yep.
And and I was going to show you. This is my lunch bag.
Okay.
You know, like I told you about my lunch bag, and I try to carry all the food that I'm supposed to eat. So I have, you know, these things with me.
Yep. Cuties.
Emergency pack.
Okay.
for protein, and this, and food bar, and my yogurt.
Good.
So these are the size containers that I use.
So you're back to portion control, yes.
Yeah, I've been doing that for a while. This is, you know, that's basically if I'm going to fix anything, it's going to be in a container like this
Right.
size, or.
Because that's only what, 4 ounces?
This is a half a cup.
Yep, 4 ounces.
Yeah. So, and then I don't have one in here, but there's a, you know, those sandwich bags that are half size. So basically, anything I fix for myself to eat would be to this size, and this is my shake.
Good.
You know, that kind of thing. And then I got my water.
Good.
Flavor thing. So I just thought I'd
That's your
show you.
survival pack.
That's my basically I can have what I want as long as it's in my little bag.
Exactly.
And I like this because it doesn't look like a lunch bag.
So do you need? I'm assuming then you need supplies.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So let's go the 26th. What would you like?
Bars. I think I could go with a banana.
Oh, we don't have any more of those.
Oh.
Yeah, they stopped doing that. All we have is chocolate and apple cinnamon.
I think I'll get chocolate this time.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been getting apple cinnamon the last 2 or 3 times.
Okay. So we do chocolate, and then what about like on a shake?
Strawberry.
Okay. All right. So if I go to 2 weeks, so let's look at the 26th.
Okay.
We do a 10 o'clock again that day.
Okay.
So strawberry and chocolate and
Right.
EGCG.